In southern Italy, there are countless ghost towns, only populated nowadays by animals and plants. But this place is different. This is Castelpoto, once devastated by a natural disaster.
There's still so many really personal artifacts that you just think people would have taken with them if they could have.
Among all the abandoned townlets in Italy, this one stands out. After a disastrous earthquake decades ago, villagers collectively decided not to abandon their homes. The citizens didn't want to relocate, but they couldn't live in their ravaged homes either. So instead, they decided to build a new part of town, directly adjacent to the old ruins. On a summer day, we came here to explore Castelpoto. We met with locals who showed us around and also told us about their lives in this unique municipality.
Quindi la gente non ha paura che succederà di nuovo un terremoto.
Join us as we roam around Castelpoto, explore the ruins and learn about the story of Italy's most uncommon ghost town. Before we head to today's main destination, we are starting our day off in another ghost town. We had a pretty wild night here, including a pool party and climbing a mountain. And we also made a new friend, as you can see. Stray animals are the only inhabitants of this village. Maybe they were abandoned just like the houses. There isn't only this kitten, but also a bunch of dogs living here.
Australisch kann man eigentlich ausmachen. Ja.
I think she's a bit hungry, but yeah, we found this lovely little kitten last night while after a couple of beers walking up the side of a mountain, and with all of our grace and wisdom and charm, we decided to call him or her DK, and this little cat decided to follow us up with some assistance, and then yeah, decided to pretty much spend the night hanging out with us and can't really seem to leave our side right now, so we're having a hard time to decide what to do with this.
Yeah, so you think it's a stray cat?
It's 100% a stray cat. I mean, we're in the middle of nowhere in Italy. It doesn't have a collar on, and there's a bunch of other stray cats running around.
There's another. There's a black cat.
Maybe that's DK's mup. We'll see what the reaction is, but there's a few dogs running around at the moment that's kind of scaring off the cats. But hey,
yeah,
we'll see. If Mama Cat is coming to. Oh yeah, here we go.
Is this like a family?
I think the black cat and DK belong to it's a battle. No, I think black cat and DK.
Oh!
Nice.
Wie Angst darum.
Ui.
Oi!
We settled on leaving DK here in the ghost town, together with the mama cat. it would have been irresponsible to take the kitten with us. We were on a 10-day road trip through abandoned Italy, driving in a hot car for hours on end, just to stop at all sorts of unsafe places. Matching our camping site, this leg of the journey is all about ghost towns. So this hamlet is just a foretaste.
Das ist eins der zahlreichen Ghost Towns hier in Italien. Und in dieser Region gibt es besonders viel davon. Das hat vor allem mit den Erdbeben zu tun. Also das sieht man jetzt hier auf den ersten Blick nicht, aber die Gebäude sind eigentlich größtenteils baufällig und könnten jederzeit zusammenstürzen. Deswegen dürfen die Menschen hier auch nicht mehr leben. Wir haben hier aber nur Zwischenstationen gemacht tatsächlich. So eine Stunde entfernt von hier ist noch eine größere Geisterstadt. Und da haben wir uns heute verabredet mit ein paar Locals, die uns rumführen, die uns die Geschichte erzählen. Und wir sind wie immer ein bisschen zu spät, deswegen müssen wir uns jetzt auch, sollten uns beeilen.
We're traveling in the south of the country. Today's destination, Castelpoto, is about 50 kilometers northeast of Naples. Located on a hill, surrounded by mountains and hard to reach in the past, people settled here over a millennium ago. Today, just over 1,000 Castelpotani are living in the community. Actually, quite a lot for a ghost town. By Italian standards, this is a unique situation, as we are about to find out. We've arrived, and this is our first impression. Although the area isn't completely abandoned, it looks deserted for sure. It's empty, just like any other ghost town, but it's also hot outside. Probably people are inside or at work. In any case, most of these houses look like they are in a pretty good shape. But in between, there are buildings like this, obviously vacant and falling apart for decades. We peek inside. No one has lived here for a long time. We are curious about the story of this place. To find out more, we arranged to meet two experienced urban explorers from Naples, Anna and Giovanni. Both of them know this site pretty well. While we catch up on calories, Giovanni tells us what else is awaiting us.
Okay guys, this is Castelpoto. It's very an ancient town. It was founded in the Middle Age. And it's different from many other Italian ghost towns because Italian ghost town normally break into the old town is abandoned and the new town is founded elsewhere in a more safe place. Castelpoto is different. A part is still inhabited and a part is totally abandoned. The historical center is completely abandoned from the earthquake in the 1980. You see the devastation, the walls break, the street break, and it's not a safe place to live anyway. Now we have a conversation with the mayor of Castelpoto.
Wait, we do what? As it turns out, these explorers are friends with someone from the town hall. So after a few days of road tripping and not showering at all, we are now improvising an interview with Cosimina Caruso, the vice mayor of Castelpoto and responsible for the old part of town.
Quindi fino al castello, dopo quando andrete vedete, fino al castello ci sono ancora delle famiglie che abitano tranquillamente residenti. Invece dal castello in poi purtroppo ci sta questo forte abbandono dovuto al terremoto dell'80 e quindi perché ci sono state le costruzioni fuori sede e quindi è stato abbandonato. E questa secondo me è la caratteristica più bella proprio di avere un centro storico attaccato al paese, quindi noi lo viviamo tranquillamente. Cioè, fino a poco tempo fa, che non c'erano stati ancora dei crolli dovuti al tempo, alla pioggia, abbiamo vissuto tranquillamente, insomma, almeno una passeggiata si poteva fare tranquillamente, adesso è un poco più pericoloso.
Ok.
Però noi adesso stiamo cercando di ripristinarlo e se venite fra un anno avrete sicuramente delle novità, vorremmo dare le case a €1 come si usa fare, e poi adesso con il sisma bonus, con il 110 ci sarà molta possibilità di ristrutturare queste case. Siccome ci sta questa cosa governativa del 110%, è molto facile ristrutturare, insomma non ci vogliono molti fondi.
Grazie.
Grazie a voi.
That's it with the interview for now. We want to take a closer look at the old part of Castelpoto ourselves. The whole interview was much longer though, and is available to watch in full length on our page on Patreon. It isn't far to get to the ruins. Actually, the vice mayor even allowed us to enter all the abandoned houses in her town. That's a first.
This is the beginning of the abandoned place.
The ghost town is beginning here.
So look.
Guck mal. Da siehst du genau, rechts wohnt jemand. Links nicht.
Jo. Das ist echt geil mit der Wäsche, ne?
Ciao.
Grazie.
Buona giornata.
We are now getting a guided tour through Castelpoto by Giovanni and Anna, the two explorers from Naples. They want to show us the most intriguing corners of the town.
Also das sind Schriften aus den Zeiten des Faschismus, also aus den 30er Jahren. Diese blau-schwarzen Buchstaben da.
It's not inside.
Guck dir das mal an. Das steht da so. Das ist einfach das Klo.
Und,
war mal das Badezimmer.
und jetzt fehlt hier einfach alles.
Ja, wenn man da jetzt auf Toilette gehen würde, hätte man auf jeden Fall nicht so viel Privatsphäre. At first glance, the general condition of these houses is very poor. Sure, they only cost €1, but with that, the buyer is obligated to restore the fundamental structure of such a building back to its original state. And that's quite expensive. By now, most of the houses belong to the municipality. But buying the buildings from the original owners can actually be quite the challenge.
Und zwar wurde mir gerade erzählt, dass es ein sehr großes Problem ist, dass die Besitzer oft nicht auffindbar sind. Also dass die Stadt kann nicht mehr rausfinden, wem denn überhaupt die Gebäude gehören und dann können die auch nichts damit machen. Die können sich dann die Gebäude nicht zurückholen. Sie können den Besitzer nicht zwingen, da irgendwas zu machen, was zu renovieren oder eine Sicherung durchzuführen, weil sie die Besitzer einfach nicht finden. Und vorhin wurde uns ja gesagt, dass in einem Jahr sich hier vieles ändern soll. Und jetzt wurde mir gerade noch mal so ein bisschen scherzhaft gesagt, dass halt ein italienisches Jahr, das sind halt eher so 70 Jahre in echt. Deswegen, ja, wahrscheinlich wird sich in einem Jahr leider noch nicht so viel verändert haben.
At the time of this video going online, 10 months have already passed since our visit to Castelpoto. We have asked, and indeed, as of today, the condition of the old town has remained the same.
Wo führt uns hin?
Na, ein Haus, das noch schöner sein soll als das hier. Das auch wieder voll möbliert ist und viele Dokumente, meint er auch, sind da noch vorhanden.
Qui è molto interessante perché vedi proprio la casa nuova,
full of documents,
guarda,
full of
abbandonata,
furniture.
abitata, abbandonata.
Habt ihr verstanden?
Yeah. This one and this two.
So.
But this is full of documents, full of... Okay.
Also das ist hier immer abwechselnd.
Take your
Hier ist ein Haus verlassen, eins bewohnt, eins verlassen, eins bewohnt. Dann gucken wir mal hier rein.
Take a look.
Poi non entrare.
No, perché è meglio che non è fermo.
Hier stapelweise hier Dokumente. Hier ist, glaube ich, ja, hier ist alles noch Krams drin. Das ist aus 76, okay.
Kannst du mal sagen, was du hier findest?
Also ich gucke mir ja gerade die Medikamente an von den ehemaligen Bewohnern und das Aspirin hier, das ist zum Beispiel aus dem Jahre 1974. Ja, sind tatsächlich noch da.
The abandoned houses of Castelpoto are windows to the past. What we see here is a world that has long since disappeared. Along with everyday objects, we find vintage furniture, scraps of newspapers, and also personal things, including photos and even diplomas. All of them left behind 40 years ago and never retrieved since then.
It's pretty wild in here just how everyone is when the earthquake happened they just dropped everything and left. And this place has been looted a lot, but still even after, 30 years? 40 years?
40 years, I think.
40 years there's still so many like really personal artifacts that you just think people would have taken with them if they could have. But and now it's here for us to go through the past and put things together.
Die sind so Anti-Regierungsspinner.
Ja.
Was steht da drauf?
Na, gegen die Regierung, ja. Sie wollen eine neue Republik ausrufen.
Oh, wrong way around. And upside down, sir.
Also diese Steintore hier, die relativ alt und wertvoll sind, die werden hier häufiger geklaut, besonders in den letzten Jahren. Man sieht ja auch 1869.
Ich glaube, das da vorne ist das Schloss.
The castle was why this place has been called Castelpoto. Today it's a symbol of how time has stopped here. From this point on begins the area where no one lives or even goes anymore. On the left, this leads to the new part of town, and that's also where we came from. On the right, everything lies fallow. It's like a jungle by now.
Diciamo del castello è un po' diroccato e gli ambienti dove non sappiamo che almeno ma non c'è niente. Posso provare a vedere per esempio qua sopra.
Also er hat gesagt, hier gibt es eine sehr schön zugewachsene Gasse mit ganz typischen alten Häusern und da sollten wir auf jeden Fall eine Aufnahme von machen, meinte er.
To Today's exploration has been a gradual transition from an intact town into total destruction and decay. But also into silence, perhaps oblivion too. Now we've reached the end of this transit. Here, nature has retaken the areas stolen from her ages ago. Some houses can only barely be seen in this vegetation.
Je weiter wir jetzt hier runtergehen, desto mehr gehen wir weg von dem bewohnten Teil der Stadt. Und hier kommen die ganzen Diebe hin. Also ist natürlich klar, dass sie nicht dort die Sachen klauen, wo die anderen Leute leben. Und die kommen zuerst hier hin. Und hier sieht man auch, das ist schon alles leer.
Und hier ist so eine Stelle, wo sie das Tor...
Die haben das Portal geklaut.
The fateful earthquake from 1980 and another big one around 20 years prior to that weren't the first great challenges for this community. And certainly weren't the last either. In fact, fate has never been lenient with Castelpoto, and its survival on the top of the hill has been tested time and again. In the 17th century, the plague depopulated the town. A third of the inhabitants disappeared as a result. Shortly after, there was a massive earthquake that destroyed much of Castelpoto, killing many people. Then, 150 years later, cholera broke out. Castelpoto barely had time to recover from both world wars before the two recent major earthquakes, which put the community to the test for the last time. So far. In the past decades, a part of the population left, but those who stayed came closer together. To us, Castelpotani seem very resilient. And that's something the Vice Mayor confirmed to us in the interview.
Anche se adesso insomma prima eravamo 1400, 1500, adesso siamo 1100 perché comunque c'è stato questo forte calo demografico dovuto purtroppo alla mortalità delle persone. I ragazzi giovani, devo essere sincera, le nuove generazioni si stanno sposando, stanno restando qui, quindi insomma...
Ma non è la causa del terremoto, diciamo?
No.
Okay. Es sind weniger Leute, die jetzt hier wohnen als früher, aber ja, das hat nicht mit dem Erdbeben zu tun.
Und die Leute haben auch keine Angst, dass sowas nochmal passiert.
Quindi la gente non ha paura che succederà di nuovo un terremoto? Sì,
diciamo che noi come territorio purtroppo siamo...
Sfortunati un po', siete un po' sfortunati.
No, diciamo che comunque qui il territorio è abbastanza, sì, insomma potrebbe esserci un altro terremoto, si dice addirittura, se non erro, che tutta la valle, perché siamo vicino a questa montagna, la dormiente del Sannio, che purtroppo è una zona di terremoto molto frequente, molto alta, però speriamo di no. Per adesso abbiamo, sì, ci sono stati alcuni casi di terremoti, ma terremoti molto lievi che comunque non ci spaventano più di tanto, però vabbè, le nuove case sono fatte diciamo a norma, insomma, però
ok.
Purtroppo la natura è imprevedibile, non possiamo.
Slowly we are now transcending back into man's world. We pass ruins that become less and less, while we see new houses becoming more present. In southern Italy, the balconies and narrow alleys are a meeting place for locals, especially on summer evenings. In this region, it's a clear sign of an active and vibrant community. Castelpoto is no exception, never has been. By now, the day is drawing to a close, temperatures are milder, and residents are out on the streets again. Our guess is that Castelpoto could be hit by many more disasters, but people here will always get up again. And what has been destroyed, they rebuild. Even if this can take a while, maybe even longer than in other places. But here, perhaps, time simply passes more slowly. And in some corners, time doesn't pass at all. Big shout out to Anna and Giovanni for showing us around. If you now want to learn more about this place, watch the full interview on our Patreon. You just need to support us with a couple of bucks. Or more if you're feeling generous and want to fund our next adventures. Thanks a lot for your support. Stay curious and keep exploring.